In this video, we're going to talk about the fire element and how you can actually use this element to create more purpose and meaning in your life. Sit tight. So when we think of the fire element in the 5-element system in ancient Taoism, we think of, I've done a lot of videos on personality traits, things that, maybe stand out for each element in the world, how they adapt to stress, how they move through the world, things like that. But in this video, I want to talk about something a little more deep, a little more profound, and how we can actually use this element now that we are in the season of fire, the height of yang, summertime, the most vibrant energy, how we can use the fire element in our lives to find more purpose, to find more meaning, to show up in the world. So the fire element is not all just about a playful, bubbly personality, someone who's spontaneous, who can be scattered at times, things like that. While this is a component of this element, there's a much deeper meaning behind it. And I'm going to get into some of the more esoteric type of, concepts and philosophies in this video. So fire element is, it's all within us. We all have fire element. We all have the 5 elements within us. If you're not familiar with the 5 elements from ancient Chinese medicine, fire, earth, metal, water, wood, I suggest you check out some of my other videos. I've done a ton on intro videos just explaining what the elements are, element personality types, all kinds of things. But today I'm going to focus on fire primarily because, like I said, we are at the height of yang. We are in fire element season right now, which is summertime. So in Chinese medicine, the fire element corresponds to the different organ systems of the heart, the small intestine, and something called the pericardium, which is the heart protector. So, as we look into something like Chinese medicine and Taoism, there's a lot of metaphors, there's a lot of symbolism for things in our lives, and we can use these to find more purpose and meaning in life. So, for example, the organ systems of the heart. In Western medicine, we just think of the heart as this blood pumping organ, right? And small intestine as a small intestine, has to do with digestion and things like that. But in Chinese medicine, the heart is there's much more spiritual basis to it. And the fire element has this connection to the cosmic universe, okay? The cosmic circle out there, circuit, whatever you want to call it, and something called the Shen, which is basically our vibrancy in the world. It's what makes us come alive. So if you think of fire, it can warm, it can expand, but it can also spark, it could sparkle, it could light things along its way, right? So essentially, this could be a giant metaphor for our lives. In the same way, the more we tap into this fire energy within us, the more we tap into this connection, this cosmic connection, I guess you would call it, the more we light things in our path, the more we sparkle to other people, essentially. If you ever heard of or seen somebody who has a very magnetic personality, it's like this innate attraction, and you can't really pinpoint what it is. It's just something ingrained. Well, that can be that person's fire element is very strong, and it's sparking to other people. We pick up on that. It's like this heart-to-heart connection. And in the same token, the small intestine, from the more, Chinese medicine perspective, separating the pure from the impure, okay? Not only in the body, but in your life. So separating things that are for your highest good, and from the things that are no longer serving you in life. And this is going to benefit the heart. Okay, and the heart wants to be soft, it wants to be open. And what happens as we go through life, our heart is wounded, we get hurt by other people, just life in general, we feel very protected, guarded, and that's the pericardium coming out. It wants to protect us from, maybe we've had past hurts and we want to prevent, anything from getting in again because we don't want to repeat the same experience. So the pericardium is very important in the body, not only on the Western perspective where it's the heart covering, okay? For the actual organ itself, it's the blood pumping organ, but metaphorically speaking or symbolically speaking, it's protecting us from hurt. And that's why a lot of us can feel guarded in life, okay? Protected. We don't open our heart to other people if we've been hurt before. So it's about getting to a place of opening and softening the heart, but also protecting it to a certain degree where we're not overly protective of it, where we don't let anybody in, and finding that balance in life. Okay, so that's kind of the basis of how Chinese medicine works and how there's a lot of symbolism behind it and how it can be very profound, where you're not just looking at it from the superficial top layer of the correspondences, but the deeper meaning behind it. So the more we can tap into the fire within us, like I said, the more we can show up in the world. A lot of people don't know who they are. They never show up in the world. They never give themselves permission to be themselves in the world. And essentially, what this video is about is kind of untangling those roles, or sometimes we attach or we over-identify with a role in our life or something like that, but it's not truly us. So it's getting back to that child in us, okay? Who we were before society slapped labels on us, before we decided to fill all these roles and responsibilities in life and clouded our judgment. Getting back to us, what makes us come alive in the world, what makes us feel the most vibrant, the most tapped in to our heart, the most connected to the universe. I mean, if you've ever felt in the flow, or you've ever felt just very connected, you had a day where you just felt everything and everyone was just like nice to you, or you felt like you could get a lot done, or you just felt tapped in somehow and you can't explain what that is. That's your connection. That's the fire connection, okay? Fire can, like I said, light things in its path. It can sparkle, it can warm, it can transform things, okay? So we want to kind of transform your life in a certain way and get back to your true nature. So I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can help tap into the fire element within you, into this more metaphorical portion of it. Number 1 is, you're going to ask yourself a few questions. Number 1 is, what's something, even as a child, you've always been drawn to and you can't explain it? It can be anything. It can be a hobby, activity. It can be ancient history, for all you know. Something that you've just been drawn to. You can't explain it. Ever since you were a kid, you love to do it. Just something that always kind of sucked you in and you feel like you can't either stop doing it or you really miss it and you wish you could go back to it. That's going to give you a clue as to something within you, in your innate potential, your innate being, that's there, that you may be repressing in a sort of way if you're not doing it anymore, but you're always thinking about it. Oh, I wish I could do that again. Or when you were a kid, you just did something. What was that thing that you were drawn to? Doesn't matter what it is, but there's always something, whether it's like a creative thing, or whether we're like talking to people, or reading up on a certain subject. What is that? Number 2, what's something that people always tell you about yourself? You may find in life that you may pick up on certain patterns, or you may find that, wow, somebody's always telling me that about myself. Like for me, a lot of people tell me, you seem to have like a very calm demeanor about you. And okay, I guess that's part of this whole thing, right? Finding more meaning and stuff. Okay, maybe I need to use that gift for something in my life. So what's something, if somebody always compliments you on, it's not just a pretty face or pretty smile, but something about your innate nature that you didn't have to learn, that's just ingrained in you. That's going to give you another clue. And number 3, what types of activities or things make you feel alive, that really give you energy and it's no effort. Something that really drives your passion. Okay, not something that you read in a magazine or you see on TV and you're like, "Ooh, I should do that." But something that just innately gives you purpose, makes your heart happy. It can be the smallest little thing. Maybe it's like taking care of animals or something, but something that makes your heart soften, makes your heart open, makes you feel present and very alive, okay? And vibrant. It's like this natural vibrancy. You don't have to work for it. It just comes naturally. Again, so, you know, that's something that's going to give you a clue into having more purpose and more meaning in your life. And these aren't big things. A lot of people always think purpose, meaning has to be like a job or career. No, it doesn't. What it means is, you know, having purpose in life is showing up in the world as you. Okay? Showing up in the world as you, innately you, getting back to you when you were a child. Like, who was that little child? What did they think? What did they do? What were they drawn to, essentially? Okay, maybe they were drawn to Barbies and G.I. Joes, okay. But I mean, like, just ingrained stuff. You know what I mean? Because like kids, yeah, they're playful and stuff, but they're very present if you think about it. They have a lot of fire in them, a lot of this connection to just the present moment. They're just themselves. They don't worry or think about what other people think of them. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm getting at here. Okay, so those are some things you can look into, you know, to be able to, you know, be present in the world and be able to tap into and connect to this fire element within you. Like I said, fire element is not only about personality traits and being fun and adventurous and that. Yes, those are part of the fire element, but we all have the fire within us. And essentially, it's the connection to our spirit. Okay, it's the connection to who we really are without, you know, all these layers outside of us, okay? All these layers and labels and all kinds of things that we've put on ourselves, identities, things like that. It's untangling and unraveling that and getting to your spirit and nourishing your spirit and the things and the activities that just make your heart happy, make your heart expand, open, soften. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like. I put out new videos every single week for you on all kinds of things. Chinese medicine, philosophies, 5 elements stuff, self-cultivation, self-empowerment type stuff. So anyway, have a great day. I will see you on the next video. Peace.